You solve problems all day, every day. It's what you're trained for, what you're good at. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you were given the space to really stretch? Because a rubber band is only useful when it's stretched. And the same is true for us. Over time, even the most creative BCBAs fall into patterns, not because they're lazy or uninspired, but because we're all so overloaded with all of the other tasks we need to do. We fall back on what we know works. We rely on the strategies that got us results before, and those strategies are solid until they're not. That's when progress stalls. That's when we start to doubt ourselves. That's when we start to question if it's even possible to create real change. And eventually we stop reaching for it at all. And most of the CEUs that we take don't actually prepare us for any of this. You sit in a conference hall listening to a speaker, flip through slides. They're trying to stay engaged, and so are you. Or maybe you're clicking through an online course, taking a quiz, and boom, your CEU is complete. But nothing about it actually stretches you. It doesn't make you think differently. It doesn't help you lead more effectively or efficiently. It doesn't prepare you for the future of the field. That's why we need something different, not just more information, not just another strategy. We need to practice thinking differently. We need to be challenged in the way that we learn. We challenge our clients because that's what the future of ABA demands. We all rely on routine. It's how we survive in a field that demands so much of us. We find what works and you stick with it, but slowly that routine becomes a trap. Plan, prompt, graph, repeat until it feels like you're just running programs instead of building lives, until you start asking yourself if there's more, if there could be more. This this is where growth happens, not in the comfort zone, but in the tension, in the stretch. And stretching doesn't mean stress. It doesn't mean doing more. It means creating space to try something new, to think in ways you haven't been allowed to think in a long time. It means returning to the creativity and purpose that led you into the field in the first place. So try this. Write down 3 things you do on autopilot during sessions. Then ask yourself, is this helping my client build independence? Or am I just checking a box? That one question can start to shift everything for you and for your clients. We think creativity is something you either have or you don't, but that's not actually true. Creativity is a skill, and like any skill, it needs practice. The problem is the environments we work in aren't built for creative thinking. They're built for efficiency, compliance, and replication. We're trained to follow protocols, stick to timelines, and check all the boxes, which means our creative muscles are constantly underused. But when we stretch, even a little, we access parts of ourselves that have been dormant. We start seeing possibilities where we used to see roadblocks. We find new solutions and we feel energized again. You don't have to be a natural innovator. You just have to give yourself permission to think in new ways. Before your next session, do a creativity warm up. Set a timer for 60 seconds and brainstorm 5 different ways to teach the same skill. They don't have to be good, they just have to be different. This primes your brain to think outside the routine. Stretching doesn't have to happen in isolation. In fact, it works better when it doesn't. When you're surrounded by others who are thinkers, who aren't afraid to question the way things have always been done, when you're in a room full of people who care as much as you do, who are just as committed to reimagining the field and what it can become, that's when the best ideas emerge. That's when creativity becomes exponential. That's when you stop surviving and you start leading. Set up a 10-minute weekly check in with a colleague. Ask each other, what's one thing you tried this week that felt different? This small ritual builds accountability, reflection, and confidence in trying new things. That's the kind of space we're creating in an immersive CEU event. Places designed to stretch your thinking, not just fill your CEU requirements. Places that don't just inform you, but they actually transform you. So if you're thinking, okay, but how? How do I stretch when I'm already stretched too thin? How do I create change when I'm barely keeping up? Well, so let's talk about it because you can do this. You and you don't have to do it alone. So here's how to start. Create micro moments of creativity. First, build small moments into your day where you can try something new, a new way to prompt, a new way to take data, a new way to ask a question. One small change can spark big momentum. Then question the default. Next time you do something because that's just the way that we do it, pause. Ask yourself, is this still the best way? Who benefits and who doesn't? Invite yourself to be curious. Then find your people. Surround yourself with BCBAs who challenge you to think bigger, not just work harder. Join communities that prioritize growth, creativity, and meaningful connection. Seek out experiences that stretch you, not just lectures, experiences that actually push you to create, solve, and reimagine, where you put knowledge into practice and walk away transformed. That's why we created the BCBA Summer Camp. It's not a conference, it's not another online CEU event. It's a fully immersive problem solving experience where you step away from the noise and step into a space built for creative breakthroughs. You don't just listen, you engage. You don't just learn, you apply. If you're ready to stretch, to get out of survival mode and back into possibility, this is your invitation. You don't need to do more. You just need to stretch in a new direction because the future of ABA doesn't belong to the most compliant. It belongs to the most creative. So let me ask you one last time. Are you one of them? And if you're wondering what it actually looks like to stretch your thinking in real time, to solve real world problems under pressure alongside other brilliant BCBAs, then I want you to check out this next video. It's not just another training, it's a behind the scenes look at a CEU experience designed to rewire how you learn, collaborate, and lead in this field. Check out my video on Mission 2030. Can you stop the collapse of ABA for a sneak peek into the premise of our escape room style CEU event? See what happens when you stop learning passively and start solving the hard problems that really matter.